All right, it looks like we've got everybody. We're gonna get, if anybody joins us late, that they join us late. Thank you everybody for joining us for our Dayton Parts webinar. I'm joined with by Matt Lawson with Dayton Parts. He's the Senior Product Manager. He's gonna demo the new uh, website they've got launching here on, correct me if I'm wrong, Matt, the 27th.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, perfect. So we are going to be recording the webinar today. So if you have anybody that's wasn't able to join us, they can refer back to the video recording if they want to take a look at it. It will also be sent out in our Monday dispatch. So it'll be available there to review. If you have any questions after the webinar, you can reach out to your BDMs and they can get you to the right person. I'll also make Matt's contact information available to you as well if you need to reach out directly to him. With that, I will go ahead and turn it over to Matt.
Thanks, Hannah. Hello and welcome to Dayton Parts Website 3.0 live demonstration. As Hannah said, my name is Matt Lawson and I'm the Senior Product Manager here at Dayton Parts. Over the past 18 months or so, we've been working hard along with our IT department and various leaders from the organization to deliver a brand new redesign of our company website. We've made several exciting improvements to the platform, and I'm fired up to have the privilege to come and showcase some of these features to you today. Let's dive right in. At Dayton Parts, we view the evolution of our web platform as a never-ending journey of constant improvement. As you can see from the slide in front of you, the Web 3.0 platform that we're going to be covering today is actually the third web platform that we've launched. Over 5 years ago, at the time Dayton was acquired by Dorman Products, the organization was using what we referred to as our Dayton Web.0 website. That's the website you see on the left side of your screen. This website was a literal encyclopedia of spring and suspension data. The platform was also a fan favorite for a large portion of our customer base that focuses on suspension repairs. However, this platform was outdated from a look and feel standpoint, and it was also notoriously slow. Customers routinely provided feedback around the spinning hourglass of death. Almost immediately upon the acquisition, the organization made the decision and the necessary investments to upgrade this platform. That brings us to Web 2.0, what you see in the middle of your screen here. This platform is the platform that you're all familiar with today as you're using it today. Web 2.0 accomplished a few key initiatives. First, it solved for our performance issues. When customers are trying to find parts, time is money, and our website was finally up to the current expectations in that specific regard. Secondly, the look and feel of the current platform is up to par with modern times. Jumping on to DaytonParts.com shouldn't feel like you're stepping into a time machine. It did on website 1.0, but that's in the rearview mirror today with the 2.0 platform. Lastly, we took measures to improve the security parameters of the website. With customers logging onto the platform around the clock and across the country, it was imperative that we ensure all customer-specific data and details are both safe and protected. Our web platform evolution is not a destination, however, it's a journey. Even with the significant improvements that we were able to implement in Web 2.0, the organization was still not satisfied. The site was still clunky. Navigation on the platform fell short of what we would consider intuitive, and we knew that there were better websites out there, and we were unwilling to settle for good enough. About 18 months ago, the organization again made the decisions and investments necessary for us to redesign the web platform. The results of that hard work is our Web 3.0 platform that we're going to be reviewing today. Now, 18 months ago, when we dove into this, our team immediately got to work hitting the streets. We called on customers, fleets, repair shops, and end users in an all-out effort to collect as much user feedback as we possibly could. With all of this feedback in mind, we were able to focus in on 3 critical areas to drive significant improvements to the platform. First, we drilled in on enhanced navigation. Identifying parts is always a headache. Our new web platform provides more avenues and more means to identify hard-to-find parts than ever before. From there, we wanted to look and make sure that we stood out in digital excellence. We're living on the cutting edge of technology in the year 2025. Our website should reflect this. Whether you're utilizing our parts finders, our full graphic schematics, or even our VIN-specific lookup tool on Dayton Parts' new 3.0 platform, the future is now. Lastly, as I mentioned, the previous platform was clunky. Web 3.0 unveils several key advancements that incorporate speed, organization, and most importantly, a streamlined customer experience designed specifically for ease of use. So let's dive in and take a look. One of the first things that you'll see upon logging into DaytonParts.com, one of the first key changes that you'll notice is the lack of a log-on requirement. You no longer need a log-on to browse or explore the website. As of Monday 27th, users, when they access this website, will not have to enter a username or login to be able to visit and explore and take full advantage of any of the digital tools at their disposal. However, logging in is necessary if you want to see details like pricing and inventory availability. All right, now that we've gotten past that, the website is largely driven by our enhanced search bar. This is not a new feature. You'll see, we had a search bar prominently displayed on website 2.0 as well. However, the search bar has been updated to be much more comprehensive and holistic than ever before. It's important to understand that with these enhancements in place, the search bar is no longer simply searching our parts catalog. On the 3.0 platform, search now incorporates the parts catalog, but also references our marketing materials, things like catalogs, part-specific sell sheets, technical documents, etc. It also references our full graphic schematics, our parts finders, and much, much more. This ensures that nothing falls through the cracks, so to speak, when you're partnering up with Dayton Parts. So let's take a look at how this works. On the website, first and foremost, very prominent is the enhanced search bar, right? As you begin to enter a part number into the search bar, once you get to that third digit, it'll start kind of auto-populating, guessing what you're drilling at. Again, it's bouncing this off of the products, competitor numbers, the schematics, as well as any information pages that we have. But as you'll see, as you continue to refine your search, the search results will continue to refine as well until you drill down on exactly what you're looking for. Now that's a very specific part number search, but let's look at how it handles broad searches as well, right? If you want to search a broad category, hit enter, it's going to bounce this off of all of those various things, right? The yield that you'll get are all the part types that fit that parameter, anything that has the word U-bolt in it. It's also bouncing this off of any schematics. I'm sorry, leaf spring. It's also bouncing this off of any schematics, any other categories where that might be found, or any parts finders where you might find these as well. As you can see, this was a pretty broad search yielding pretty broad results, right? We had over 12,384 different springs that we can run into here now, right? You can be more specific on this though, and you can even just use the search bar to narrow that as well. So if you get a little bit more specific on your results or your search keywords, you'll see the results are a little bit different, right? When we had Hendrickson as a keyword to leaf spring, now when we got down to leaf springs, we only have 100, right? So again, as previously mentioned, this brings up all relevant part types. One of the really nice things is once you select the specific part type you're looking at, you will get an enhanced level of filters that you can start to utilize to further drill down. So we've selected spring there. Now we've got all these different sort of attributes of the product that we can kind of drill down on, right? Things like leaf quantity, leaf width, etc., right? Material bushings, things along those lines. Really good way to kind of further your search and further refine that until you're looking for at just the part that you really set out to look for in the first place. Search bar is pretty self-explanatory, so let's move into some of the increased features here. Now, on the home screen, directly below the enhanced search bar, you will see a toolbar that spans the length of the screen. Outside of the search bar, this toolbar will be your primary means for drilling down on and identifying parts. The first avenue provided is category drill down. Dayton Parts has a catalog of over 45,000 part numbers that span over about 120 different categories. Finding a part can feel a little bit like finding a needle in a haystack. The categories tab allows users to immediately hone in on and focus down on a specific part category without having to sort through tons of pages of parts that aren't relevant to the job at hand. With just a click of a mouse, users can immediately drill down on a specific category and or part type. Let's take a look. The categories, you can see we have this mixed up into a variety of different ways. Some of the categories have further drill downs to get more specific. But when you drill down on a category and select that particular category, in this instance, we're in cooling and we're going to look at coolant reservoirs, caps, and level senders. It really quickly cuts through all the noise of the 45,000 parts we have and just provides yields for the results that you're looking for, right? In this instance, 62 reservoirs, 29 caps, and 12 level sensors, right? Again, you can get much more granular once you get to this point by selecting a part type. So once we select a coolant reservoir, then we're going to get a bunch of different attributes we can drill down on. Maybe in this particular instance, we're going to be looking for Freightliner coolant reservoirs. And now we're only looking on the screen at the variety of coolant reservoirs that we provide for a Freightliner application. I think about this in a real world situation. If someone comes into the store, they drop a filthy reservoir on the counter. They have no idea what application it came off of beyond the fact that they drive a Freightliner. You still have, with just that limited enough details, a pretty good avenue to drill down on exactly what you're looking at. Bring up the pictures, match up the picture to what's in front of you. You're good to go. Really quick way to trim through some of the noise that a 45,000 SKU catalog can bring along with it. Pivoting away from searching by category and jumping over to the next tab, that is our parts finders. Parts finders are pretty simple, but they are a series of prompts and filters that allow users to rapidly identify a specific part within a specific part type. Give you an idea of how this looks in real time. Go back to the home screen. Right up front, we're going to click Parts Finders. And really quickly, you'll see we have a handful of different parts finders across a whole different types of categories that are going to help you drill down on the specific U-bolt, air tank, or air spring that you might be looking for. Click into the part type that's in question. Occasionally, you'll get some specific prompts right away, some images that'll allow you to quickly narrow the field of possible results into what you're looking for. So in air springs, that would be based on the type of air spring. Maybe you don't know this. The nice thing is that these prompts up top are not a requirement. They're there if and when necessary, and you can use them as such. But they will start to immediately try to trim down the categories that we're looking at in real time. You also then, in the table, have a myriad of different attributes and parameters that you can filter upon to help drill down on exactly what spring you're looking for. Purposes of this, I'm going to kind of drill down on just our offering of Dayton springs. But in this particular instance, let's say you had a 3-hole on the top plates, you got 4 holes or 2 holes on the bottom plate in this instance. You can start narrowing by your actual height of the bag, et cetera, until you drill down on the specific bag that you're looking for. From this page, you can really quickly pivot over to a product display page. One of the nice things that you'll notice here is right here, I'm looking at this part, I'm getting very limited details as to this part, right? Maybe an OEM number, a description, and our part number. What you'll see here as I log into the platform, move that. I'll go back to the parts finders. And when I select a number, I get more details than before, right? I'm going to see things like pricing and availability. One of the nice things here is whatever warehouse you're tied to, that's going to be the warehouse that it delivers your inventory on. However, if we're out of stock or anything along those lines, you can quickly pivot down to view availability in the additional North American warehouses to understand if that part's available elsewhere, where you can just pay an additional shipping to get that part to you. But a really quick way to drill down on exactly what part you're looking for and most of the details that you would need to make that sale at the counter in real time. We have parts finders for a variety of different things, but they follow similar walks, right? If we go to air tanks, the initial prompt, is it a tractor tank or a trailer tank? From there, you're going to get access to that full-blown table where you can start to drill down on things like diameter, the amount of bungs that you have, what if it's a smiley face or a frowny, et cetera, et cetera. Same level of detail available on the parts page. Really seamless avenue to click into the actual product landing page as well and make your purchases. really good way to drill down on specific parts within a specific category. Parts finders are also something that is an area of constant improvement for us. The amount of parts finders we have today will likely not be the amount of parts finders that we have 6 months from now, 7 months from now. We're constantly trying to, grow that avenue and increase the visibility of that tool across additional categories. After parts finders, the next tool on the toolbar is our schematics button. Our schematics have always been a fan favorite tool, but on our old website, website 2.0, it wasn't the easiest tool to find. We've relocated, put it front and center to make sure it is much easier to find and much more commonly used. We have schematics available for 4 different categories. We have schematics for suspension, air disc brake, air drum brake, as well as light duty steering. Again, this is a very much an avenue for constant improvement. So we're always trying to expand the amount of schematics that we have, as well as the amount of categories where schematics are appropriate. Show you what this looks like on the website. From the home screen, again, the button's really quick, can't miss it, all schematics. You're just gonna have to select what specific type of schematic you wanna look at. We're gonna keep it in suspension. Now you'd have to select the specific make of that particular suspension. And then the last piece they're gonna ask you for is the model of the suspension. Once you make that click, you're immediately going to be brought to a full-blown graphic schematic of that particular suspension that's interactive. If you hover over the numbers, it's going to quickly tell you the options that you could have for that. In this particular instance, we're looking at a polyurethane version and a non-urethane version of the bolt. Real quick ways to pull it up, look at all your different parameters, your images, availability, price, etc. When we were laying out this page, some of the customer feedback that we had were that people wanted to see it, the schematic below or schematic above the chart, the schematic next to the chart. I don't want a chart, all kinds of different things. So we tried to make it as customizable in that regard as possible. If you want to see it stacked, you can just click this button, look at your chart, then reference your table, or keep it side by side. And for those that aren't into the whole graphic side of things, you can get rid of that image as well to make it easier for you to just drill down on the data that we have in the table. But real quick ways to drill down on parts. One of the nice things about these parts finders, it's a great way to go from looking up a particular part and then getting an additional sale because someone needed that part. In this particular instance, if someone was coming in for a leaf spring, you could also come out to the schematic and really pivot and quickly get them access to this top plate as well as the U-bolts as well. It's a good means for driving additional sales when you have one opportunity turning it into several different opportunities. But whether you're looking at our air disc brake schematics or our suspension schematics, it's going to be the same walk, right? You're going to have the full detailed blown out image of all the different parts and how they kind of marry together, as well as the table with part numbers, descriptions, OEM numbers, all the different things, as much detail and data as we can possibly give you to give you the feelings that you're drilling down on the exact right part at any given time. From there, on the toolbar, the next tool that we would come across is our leaf spring lookup. The button says Leaf Spring Stanley. That's an homage to Stanley Springs, which is the company that Dayton Parts originally started as. But from there, we give you the avenue to identify your leaf springs by manufacturer, make, and model. Give you an understanding of what this looks like. We're going to come out here. We're going to click Leaf Spring Stanley. The first prompt that's going to come across is just specifying what type of vehicle class we're looking at. We separate our leaf springs, whether they're light duty, passenger car, or medium and heavy duty. Once you specify your vehicle class, then you'll just have to drill down on the particular make that we're looking at today. We're going to keep it Kenworth here. And from there, we're just going to select the model of the suspension. And this one will go C500B. And then lastly, it's going to ask what type of leaf spring are you looking at? If anyone has any questions on the type of leaf springs, some of these words look pretty foreign to me the first time I saw it. We've got a myriad of different tools that'll help you understand the differences in leaf springs that we can share as well. But for the purposes of this conversation, we're going to drill down on a leaf spring that has eyes on both ends of the springs. What you're going to get is you're going to get access immediately to that leaf spring family. When we say leaf spring family, what we mean is all of these leaf springs here, quite literally could fit the application that we are looking at, right? Depending on different things like weight ratings and different ways that the vehicle was spec'd out from the dealer, could lead to a different leaf spring being on that. So when you get to the leaf spring table, we try to give you as many different differentiating factors amongst these leaf springs as possible to help you drill down on the leaf spring that you would need. These tables are filterable at any given time. So if you get down, you measure a particular dimension to be static, you can lock that in, then start working on the next one, right? And drill down until the last thing you see is one leaf spring up there that is the leaf spring that you need. An additional improvement that's come by the wayside of website 3.0 is really what you see at the landing page for many of our components. Leaf springs are a great example of this. Leaf springs before, on old website 2.0, you could look up leaf springs in a very similar fashion to the way you went to before. But what was very, very difficult was to go from a leaf spring that you've identified and you know what suspension it is on to then pivot out to that necessary suspension schematic, right? So we've made that a little bit easier than it's ever been before. As previously mentioned, we looked it up under C500, right? We know that this is fitting that particular application. Now we've jumped to the landing page of the part. The landing page of the part is another treasure trove for additional data. Product overview, this is just marketing copy stuff, that might make you help you kind of get a part, an elevator pitch, get the story of a part over across the goal line to a customer. We also have myriad of attributes, right? These are things that make this leaf spring unique from other leaf springs. Could be color, could be the type of bushing they use. Every dimension you could possibly imagine is called out here, weight ratings, the material being used, etc. Below that, you're going to get all the cross references, right? Any sort of OEM cross-reference information for this particular leaf spring will be included here. And then what's really nice is we allow you to get quickly right back into that leaf spring family, right? So from leaf spring to leaf spring family. And then at the same time on that page, bear with me here. So I just can't see my button so well. You can get from that particular leaf spring landing page directly into the schematic for that specific suspension. Oh, I'm sorry, I clicked the family again. Bear with me here. Boom. Here we go. So I like to think about this as an avenue where someone came in, they didn't know what leaf spring they were going after. You were able to take them through the walk by manufacturer to drill down on that specific leaf spring. And then by visiting the product landing page for that leaf spring, you can then pivot out into the overall schematic to make some additional sales on any of the different components that they might need to replace while they're replacing the leaf spring. A really good way to drive additional sales and to go from a specific part type to a part category to get the broader picture to see anything else that might be opportunistic that day or a solution that that customer might be interested about hearing in the future. The last tool that I want to talk about today is perhaps the most exciting tool and the most exciting new improvement, but this is our application-specific lookup tool, right? Our make, model, year, or VIN button provides users the ability to look up specific parts by either year, make, model, or by utilizing, this is the important part, a complete 17-digit VIN number. Partial VIN numbers, no good in our search model, but if you have the full 17-digit VIN number, you're going to get exactly where you're going. Just to give you an idea of what this looks like in real time, from the page, simple drop-down menu to drive down on make, model, and year. For this instance, we'll look at a Freightliner Cascadia from 2018. Set the drop-down menus accordingly. Last piece here, it's important. This is not automatic. Once you drive these, you still need to click the button for search. From there, you will get a yield of all the parts that Dayton Parts currently offers for a 2018 Freightliner Cascadia. You can search through the part types to get a really quick idea of all the different part types that we had. But if you're looking for a specific part type, you can kind of use this search bar to kind of narrow it down. So you enter a VIN number, you hit enter, and then you just click on the coolant reservoir. And in a matter of 2 steps, you've gone from VIN number to the exact coolant reservoir that your customer needs. I'm sorry, year, make, model to the exact coolant reservoir that your customer needs. Now, conversely, the VIN search follows a very similar walk. Let me jump out to where my VIN number is saved. Got a VIN number. We're going to go back. We're going to put that VIN number in the search bar. Again, you got to hit search, but it's going to be giving a very similar yield to the previous search, except it's also going to decode your VIN in real time to make sure that what you put in here is exactly what's being pulled back out of here. In the instance, I searched for Google for a 2018 Freightliner Cascadia. That's been decoded into a 2018 Freightliner Cascadia with a Detroit diesel DD13 engine. And again, you can use our part type search down here to really drill down on any specific part type that you might need for that application. This particular functionality was something that was missing from website 2.0. One of the main points of feedback that we got when we went out to the space was people wanted this back on the website, and not only back on the website, but back on the website in a way that was easily navigatable and easily found. We feel as if we've done a very good job of that with this new feature. Really excited to see some of the traffic that this starts to churn towards our new website. Now, the last thing I want to do is just talk about checking out on the website, right? So we've found the part number that we need. We're going to add that to our cart. If you drill down on the part, one of the nice things that's in place on website 3.0 that has not been in place before is down at the bottom, you'll get related parts. These are parts that might be related to the particular part that you're looking for. From there, you can really quickly add these to the cart as well. So in this particular instance, I'm going to throw a few things into the cart, give you an idea of what it looks like when we get to that particular portion. Really easy checkout process, right? As you're browsing the website and throwing things into your cart, at any given time, all you need to do is click on your shopping cart icon. I'll show you where that's when we pivot back to the website. But from there, you're going to get a prompt to view your cart. You're going to click view cart, and now it's going to bring you to a little bit of like a staging screen where we're just requiring that you confirm the order accuracy, right? Make sure that everything in your cart is everything that you want. From there, you're going to click proceed to checkout. After that, on the proceed to checkout screen, there's going to be a few things that you have to intervene on. One of the first things we'd like you to do is just confirm the shipping address that we have in there and that that's where you want to go. In real time, if that's not accurate, you can edit that right on the fly on the website. The next thing we would like you to do is just confirm your shipping method. There are 3 choices. There's shipper's choice, where you leave that up to Dayton on how they get that to you. We allow you to select customer's choice, where you determine the shipper or carrier of choice. And lastly, if you're close enough to any of our DCs, we have a will call or warehouse pickup option. Last thing you would need to do is add your purchase order number to the order screen and then hit proceed to checkout. You're good to go. Let me walk you through how that looks on the website. So as I mentioned, the cart icon is always in a static spot here in the top right corner of the screen. When you click that cart, it'll give you an idea of all the things you have in that cart. But then you're going to want to click view cart. Now, view cart brings you to this little like holding pattern screen or this staging screen. It just quickly lays out what is in your cart. One of the really nice things about this particular staging screen that's in place today that was not in place previously is this little warning that you'll get, right? We added a part to our cart that is not in stock at the Shiremanstown DC that you guys, or the Pennsylvania DC that you guys are working out of on this particular account. But it is telling you, hey, we have this part available at another location. It's letting you know really clearly, this part is going to be back ordered unless you kick off another order and drive it specifically to that particular warehouse. At any given time, you can update your warehouses up here by just clicking warehouse and toggling different screens. But the user is now empowered to do that right here on the fly. For this particular instance, we'll just remove this from our cart, knowing that we would have to place a separate order to get that out of Texas. Now we're going to proceed to checkout. Proceed to checkout screen. First thing it's going to do is going to give you your shipping address. If your shipping address is inaccurate, you're just going to click the edit button to get that changed. Beyond that, step 2 is select your shipping method. If you select shipper's choice, we'll take it from there. If you do select customer choice, we're going to ask you to help us understand what specific choice you would like with a bunch of different options here at your disposal. And again, if you're close, you can pick that up. We do say if you're going to send a customer, we're gonna ask you to tell us if it's going to be you picking this up or a representative from your organization, or are you sending the customer to pick that up? If you're sending the customer to pick that up, we give you a little notes box. Maybe you want to throw something in here like don't let them see the invoice or anything along those lines. But if there's any sort of nuance to the pickup process, this gives us the avenue to make sure that that's understood and taken care of as well. Purchase order comes next. Throw your PO number in there, and the last thing you've got to do is just click, I can't see what it says, place order, and you're good to go. That part will be shipped out. Really good way to kind of streamline that whole order process and make, something that should feel easy and intuitive, as easy and intuitive as we could possibly make it. The only last thing I wanted to talk about today is our resources tab, right? Resources tab is basically your one-stop shop for any sort of pertinent company or corporate information that we're circulating. It's also a great place to get a one-stop shop for any sort of marketing resources that we have at your disposal. To get to that particular area, you would want to click resources and product literature. Once you've clicked on product literature, you can sort through all the different sell sheets that we have, our catalogs, any sort of promotional materials that we're running, or any technical information like instruction sheets and things along those lines. Really good one-stop shop for any and all marketing needs that you might need to arm your sales force with to be a little bit more better positioned to have some critical conversations out in the field in real time. Beyond that, that concludes what I wanted to showcase here today. A lot of different avenues for which you can use to drill down on a particular part type. We understand at Dayton Parts that when it comes to identifying parts, there's a myriad of different ways to skin that cat. We want to try to give you all the different avenues that you could possibly need, and whatever works best for you is where we want you guys to find your lane there. But more ways to drill down on parts than ever before, more information about those parts at your disposal than ever before, and what I like to think of as the most streamlined customer experience that Dayton Parts has ever come to market with. Very excited about what this means for us internally, but also what it means for the external sellers of Dayton Parts as well. That concludes our presentation today. If there's any questions, I'm ready to address them.
Thanks so much, Matt. We do have a question. If anybody else does have a question, go ahead and drop it in the Q&A down below, and we can go ahead and get those answered. So again, I just want to say thank you, Matt, and thank you all for joining us. So we can go ahead and get this answered. So the lead time from placed order to pickup time at the warehouse, what is that?
Lead time from placed order to pickup, we ask for an hour minimum. But that being said, when you get there, our customer service team is pretty, I've been there in real time when someone shows up 5 minutes after they place the order. Although frustrating at times, they typically work through that and try to get that rushed out the door as well. I will say that when you're there on site, you typically have priority.
Perfect, thank you. Can you toggle the price on and off?
Yes, absolutely. Great question. Let me just show you how that looks. If I could spell, it would help. So we are logged in. All the parts are going to come up. Give it a second for it to pull that pricing in. But the button up here, this little dollar sign, you can toggle that on and off. And when you do, it'll quickly get rid of that pricing detail. So if you have a guy in front of the counter, you want to make sure that this particular coolant reservoir is the one that he needs. You need him to come around the counter. Quickly click that button, toggle the prices on and off, and then you'll be a little safe to get the GP that you desired.
Perfect, thank you. Do you need an account in order to use the VIN decoder?
No, great question. All of the tools that I reviewed today, they are 100% able to be accessed whether you are signed in or out. In this particular instance, I'm signed out, but if I click on the make, model, year, I can still drive all the functionality here. The only thing that you need to log in to gain access to is inventory availability and specific pricing.
Okay. Are you doing anything with the Fuso or have diagrams on Fuso in Azuno?
So Isuzu, yes. Fuso, I believe we have it under, yes, Mitsubishi Fuso. So yes, we do have schematics for that. They may be limited. but they are available. Zuzu was the other one. Boom, lots more for Zuzu. So yes,
Do you have freight options for direct shipment?
great. Yeah, yeah. You're gonna want to talk to Walt specifically about that, but generally speaking, yes, we can get creative.
I believe that should, and Tim, correct me if I'm wrong, that information should be available in the Dayton Parts program, supplier programs folder.
Correct, yes.
Okay. That is all I see for questions. So, if we want to wrap up, if you guys have any more questions, go ahead and get that in there. Um, Last question, or we did have one more come in. What is not covered?
What is not covered?
Steven, I'm not sure.
My gut tells me that he's asking
Oh,
what part
what?
types will come up in the VIN search versus what won't.
Yep. What trucks do you not do? Sorry.
Oh, what trucks do we not
Yeah.
do? That's a great question. I would say if it's a North American application, there's odds on that we have parts available for that specific vehicle. When you get into things like yard jockeys and things like that, we'll probably have a suspension schematic there. We might fall short on things like coolant reservoirs and door handles and things along those lines. But I'd say if it's a North American vehicle that's in the North American market right now, odds are we have parts for it. Now, when you get into the European applications and things along those lines, that's where we fall short.
Okay. Um, we've got these last two questions. And then we'll get wrapped up. How do you get online access?
Like an account login, things along those
Yeah.
lines? Yeah,
Yeah.
so for all of that and more, there should be emails that are coming out. As I understand it, you will get an email that basically says, hey, new website's coming, and you'll get a temporary login and password. The big thing that we want is you just log on Monday and update that password to something a little bit less generic, right? But everybody should be getting emails. If you do not get that level of correspondence, my recommendation would be to reach out to Walt. He should have all of those details and more at his disposal and be able to walk you through any sort of hiccups.
Perfect. Yeah. If you guys aren't already, I'm assuming if you're not already a Dayton Parts customer and you don't get that email, Walt's information should also be listed in supplier programs. You can always reach out to your BDM to get that information.
Yes, and by all means, we very, very, very much want you all to have logons and be using this website. So if that is a roadblock, let us know as soon as possible. We'll make sure we bulldoze right through that.
Um, Well, we need to get a new login. Okay. And that was basically answered just then. Well, we need to get a new login or will our 2.0 login work? So you'll get that email on Monday then to update your password. All right.
One other thing. A lot of people on our old 2.0 platform and the new 2.0, new 3.0 platform, there is the ability to make a list, like a wish list, so to speak. So if you see parts that you like, you want to throw it into like, I don't want to order this yet, but I don't want to lose it. I want to keep it on a wish list. Or conversely, a lot of customers like to build carts over time until they get to that prepaid freight limit and then they pull the trigger. One thing that is in play this weekend, the big push for the update is happening this weekend. If carts if carts still have items in them at 6 o'clock on Sunday night, they will be disappearing into the nether. Those carts that you've been planning and putting will disappear. So if you have any carts, you might want to take a screenshot or something along those lines to save that, because there will be kind of like a reset to any sort of carts and or lists over this weekend.
Okay. One last question that came through. Is there diagrams on all or is it limited to trucks?
So diagrams are going to be limited to heavy duty trucks on air disc, air drum, and suspension. However, we do have light duty steering schematics. But suspension schematic, we're not going to have suspension schematics for a Ford Taurus on there.
And then I guess I have a follow-up question. Is it, do you have like schematics for everything or is it just,
When you
um,
say everything, so like, if you're looking for a particular suspension, I would say there's greater than a 90% chance that we're going to have that suspension schematic. Air disc brakes, it's probably closer to 85% of the universe. I think there's an SN7 system that we might not have captured yet, but by and large, it's pretty holistic. It is extremely rare that I'm looking up a suspension part that I can't see tied to a specific schematic on our website.
okay. All right. Thank you so much again, Matt, and thank you all for joining us today.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Again, if you guys do have questions after the fact, please feel free to reach out to your BDM. We did record today's webinar. It will go out in our Monday weekly dispatch. So you can watch it again if you feel like it. If you want somebody else on your team to watch it, you feel like they can get something out of it, please feel free to share the recording. I will include Matt's information. So if you have questions, you can reach out to Matt directly. So I will go ahead and end it here. So feel free. I'll give you guys the rest of your day. You have 15 minutes back. Thank you again. Have a great
Thank you
day.
very much.